Hello, my name is John Williams, and my YouTube channel is dedicated to every aspect of nature and wildlife photography, from in-field photographing, even videoing in the field, to processing and post-processing using composites and Photoshop as well as textures, and various other types of techniques to create artistic effects in wildlife and nature photography. And then also I take it to the next level, the printing and also alternative processes. And then lately I've been quite interested in creating mounts and doing encaustics on my photography. I'm excited about the fact that you can take really colorful, glossy and semi-glossy prints from a printer, digital prints, from a printer, and then render them in encaustic wax. I have always been told that it would damage the photograph. Well, it doesn't. It actually fuses with the photograph. It preserves it archivally. It enhances the textures. I'm going to zoom out. It enhances the textures, as you see on that great blue heron image. It enhances the textures, the wax and the paint brushing on the wax. And it saves a great deal of expense because I have framed my photographs. Used in the cost of glass is expensive, which I've cut the glass. If you use museum glass, it's very expensive. Matting is expensive. Even the archival foam board is expensive. I make my own frames and the wood is expensive. Whereas when I build these cradles, this cradle that you see here is made out of 1/4-inch birch plywood, which I've sanded. And then on the edges, it's 1.5 inches by 3/4-inch poplar wood, which I've stained a walnut color. And it has mitered edges on it, and I've tried to do as good a job on that, building my own cradle as you can. It's pretty strong. And that's going to be that's it as far as everything, except for the cost of mounting my photograph that you see on the right to my cradle or my panel, which I'm going to show you how I do that now. I used to use spray adhesive, and it works really well, but I've been told that the PMA, the positional mounting adhesive, is archival. Also, that's made by Scotch. I think it's called 568 PMA, positional mounting adhesive. That's what I'm going to use right now to mount the photograph you see onto the panel that I made to prepare it for encaustic photography. The panel is made so that there's 1/4 inch smaller all the way around than the photograph, so I can trim the photograph to size. So let's see how this works. I'm going to move over there. So this is my PMA, which has a sticky surface on this side, on the outside of the roll. It's a non-adhesive surface, so you can leave it in a roll. So I'm going to lay it out here, and the idea is to transfer from the paper to the surface the stickiness. And so there from there you will be able to mount your photograph and hopefully to reposition it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this about right here to have a little bit of extra. And it comes with this plastic flat piece so that you can smooth over the paper to transfer the stickiness. So I'm going to start here in the middle and smooth it this way. And what I'm doing by pressing down on my surface of my cradle is I'm transferring the sticky surface to my panel. I have not done this very often, so I'm still kind of learning how to do it the right way. But I want to be very thorough. I want to get my edges really thorough. It's important that it sticks well on your edges, but also, I think on another one I did, I wasn't careful enough about the middle of it, transferring this. Now, when you look at the videos of how to use this, they have you transferring the stickiness onto the back of your photograph. And of course that's to mount on things like just regular small mounting board usually. The problem with that is when you peel this off off of your photograph, after you've added the stickiness, it sometimes flips up the little fibers of stickiness over the top edge of your photograph, on your photograph, and adheres to it, and is very difficult to get off. So people who mount using PMA to cradles and panels, they have resorted to putting the stickiness on the panels, not on the photograph. And then they can also lift up their photograph and reposition it if they don't get it right. Now normally, when I use the spray adhesive, I would lay the photograph face down and set my cradle or my panel right at the right spot on the photograph and then flip it down flat onto the photograph to do the adhesive. But I did that with this, and it didn't, I don't know, it just didn't seem to work as well. I think I need to do it this way for some reason. I'll explain that when we get further into the process. But I'm being extra thorough here because I want to make sure I get all of the stickiness, even in the corners here, transferred. I may be super overkill here, but you know, if you don't, it's hard to undo it once you've laid the photograph down on the surface. So and I may cut some of this out of the video. Whoops. All right, put the roll out of the way. This piece of paper, you lay it print side up, it allows you to smooth out your photograph without damaging your photograph. But the next step is to peel this back. And I'm going to set that over there. Now this is going to be the trickiest part. It's going to be laying, first time I've laid a photograph on it, trying to get it in the right position from the very beginning. Oops, and I've already, but it is, oh, and I got stuff on my fingers. Oh boy. Big mistake. Well, I think I prefer my other way of doing it, but regardless, And I got it, but that may get cut off. Yeah, I think that's going to get cut off. So we're good to go. Alrighty. So lay this down on there and smooth it out. That's the one thing I think is really make sure you get this thing pressed down and smoothed out, the photograph, so there's no bubbles or anything. I guess that is an advantage if you get anything on the edges. If you're trimming, that is the advantage, because you can trim off any sticky stuff that you get on your edges. I sometimes like to lay the photograph on the panel in ways that where I want to, you know, I may want to save a little bit at the top and have more at the top and cut off more at the bottom or whatever, just based on the composition of the photograph. And I can do that when I lay the panel down on the photograph because I mark it with a pen, but this way I just did it because I thought, well, maybe it smooths, when you use this tool, it smooths it out better and you avoid getting any bubbles or any spots that don't adhere well. But if this doesn't work, I'm going to go back to the spray. Yeah, there's just a taste of it right there. Of course, I am going to trim it. So anyway, I think I will pause the video and let it dry for a little bit, and then come back and show you how I trim it.